Hello, everyone. This is Nikki for the Philippine stock market update. If you'll notice, I'm in a different background today. I actually visited one of my investments, which is Simplicity Co-Living in Fairview. It's a live-work sharing environment. That's why you can see at the back, that's the word live-work share. I actually went here to take a look on the farms that we've invested upon. It's an urban garden farm. Wait up, I'll get the veggies. So here, spoken like a true plantita, we have been producing these types of vegetables. I'll be selling it online directly if you wish to have a healthy lifestyle. We'll think about it in the awesome planet. Pero yun, mga harvest, like yan, no, arugula, um, loose leaf lettuce, yan. So, ganyan siya. We'll sell it online. Don't worry, it's gonna be the same price, if not cheaper price, that you buy from the supermarkets. So definitely, it's nice to be a plantita and sell the vegetables. Okay, but then again, let's talk about the market. So that's like a diversified avenue. I invested in an actual real urban farm. So yun. Let's talk about the Philippine market. So here, the Philippine market is on a red day. You'll notice that the markets are all falling down based on the Omicron variant. Everything is down. PSEI, all shares, financials, industrials, holdings. 13 billion pesos got traded today, but all on the downside. 165 decliners, only 40 advancers, foreign net selling 1.25 billion. Let's just read through the largest selling off, no? Let's read through the numbers. Meralco stayed safe. Utility, electricity, 298 bucks. JG Summit, 57 pesos, but that's a decline pa rin from the 60 plus levels. San Miguel Corporation is 113. Security Bank is 114. Metro Bank is below 50. Wilcon is 31.5. Robinson's Land is trading at 18. AP, Aboitiz Power is 29.3, Pure Gold is 40 bucks, Mega World is 3, Luciatan Group is 10, Converge is 31, Aboitiz Equity Ventures 48.5, AGI is now below 11, Robinson's Retail 63 bucks, GD Capital is 550, BPI is below 90, Bloomberry is 7 pesos, MPI is 3.8, Asen is 10.76, Globe is 3,136, URC is 128, ICT is 193, Telephone is 1610, Jollibee is 220, Ayala Corp is back at 800 pesos, Ayala Land is 33 bucks, Video is 118, SM Prime 35, SM 932. You're seeing a bunch of your index names go down heavily for the last few days. Actually, it's not just today, but actually the entire week. Based on this Omicron variants, no? So the market in the Philippines is based on reopening. And because of that, a lot of reopening stocks fell down. More specifically, your Cebu Pacific is now trading at 42 pesos. It was trading, 50? Now it's back to 40. Your Macro Asia from about 6 plus, it's now trading at 5, so down 8%. You're seeing actually all the tourism are getting stuck right now, no? So all of the stocks related to reopening and tourism is in a noisy market because the information about Omicron is still hard to digest. So the charts are showing, almost all the statistics are showing a decline, reversing all the up moves. No, we saw actually that 7,000 plus. We were saying 7,273. It was very difficult to assume that's going to go 9,000 or 8,000. So you're viewing na at 900 pesos for Ayala Corporation. Market is too hopeful of this reopening. We weren't really looking for the market to tack heavily though. It was just very unforeseen naman this Omicron variant. But you could see that a majority of the market who doesn't know much din naman, I think in general sold when the index was 7.3. Kasi I generally think that the market is gonna go 6.5 again. Not because I don't believe in the Philippine economy, but simply because the earnings are not expected to really be actively able to recover that fast. So when Jollibee was hitting 240, 250, parang it was easy to sell it. But where will you buy Jollibee? Just in case you believe that Jollibee is a stable company anyway, let's just go through these numbers, no? Okay, so Asen is below 12 na, no? It's now trading at 10.76. Monday is now back to 17 after hitting 18, 19 a couple of weeks ago. Video is back to 118. Okay, actually, from these top movers, top traded names in the Philippine market, I think that the people who have some cash on the side should take a look at least, no? Number one, I don't foresee naman Ayala Land to really become a nobody. You know, it does have money. So Ayala Land here at 33 pesos, until 30, there will be a buyer here. So this drop on Ayala Land, some people might be bargain hunting, mainly because they foresee na within a year, may resurgence man yung Omicron and all these mga variants. They believe that the market is willing to tolerate it with vaccine shots and booster shots. So you want to actually be a little bit contrarian here despite the big sell-off. So you were contrarian when it was very strong, but selling it when it was very strong. But at the same time, now that it's falling down like this, contrarian in a way na parang pwede tong bilhin. Di ba? So what would you buy? Okay, what would you buy in the index na medyo safe? I still would say that the Philippine market is heavily based on the banks and the financials, right? So in the terms of financials, I have been very vocal in saying that the avoidances are very strong because I do believe that the Union Bank earned 200, 300% because of the affiliation with cryptocurrency. It was the first bank in the Philippines that accepted digital assets. If you were depositing money in crypto or you were playing an Axie Infinity, or you were very much using Union Bank or GCash. So on any dips of Union Bank back to 89, I'd say that there's a ton of buyers. As well as Aboitiz Equity Ventures, no? If this one goes to about 47 or even here to about 44, guys, I think that Aboitiz Equity Ventures, owing to the fact that it owns a ton of Aboitiz Power and Union Bank, would be a relative safe haven. So here, Aboitiz Power is falling down to 29. I'd say that it's a good entry opportunity. We said that 21 here was a great buying opportunity. 21, 22, I still remember saying that. I would say Aboitiz Power is a very stable name. So you would have many people still needing electricity. Aboitiz Power is 50-50. That's their goal, di ba? Kasi right now, Aboitiz Power, let's discuss, no? They still rely so much on a lot of coal power plants. Yes, Aboitiz Power owns some coal power plants, but it has a huge chunk as well of hydro, as well as a lot of natural gas. So you'd say that Aboitiz Power will be relatively safe if it falls somewhere here about 26, 28, no? Actually, there will be buyers there. Also, let's take a look. We know that the market has sold down BMC and Semirara. BMC mataas pa tong 8, no? But may buyer yan pag 6. We were saying at 4, di ba? It was a buying opportunity, 4 plus. Actually, ang pinaka-low niya was 340. Sa 4 na tayo nag-enter niyan. And I don't think you will get BMC at 4, no? But at 6, may buyer yan. Only because energy is still needed. And the Philippines has no choice but to still get energy from coal sources, at least for the next 5 to 10 years. So, Semirara here about 23 below. Tingnan natin how low it can go. Maybe 20, baka makachamba ka 21 for Semirara. So, energy will still be a dominant trend for the next year. Now, telecoms, in my view, is really a safe haven play. It's not gonna change. That viewpoint I have is not gonna change. We were bullish on PLDT since about 11, 1200, even at 1400. Assuming PLDT just suddenly collapses to about 15 or 1400. Actually, if you bought today 16, I don't think it's wrong. 1600 all the way to 1400 is correct. Why? I mean, right now, I'm talking to you via streaming online. We need broadband connectivity, whether that's PLDT or Globe, right? So Globe at a drop at about 2.9, you want to enter that. So I'd say that Globe 2.8, 3,000, it's all a buying opportunity. These are where my money is gonna probably flow into. Telecoms. Converge is a startup na hindi naman talaga startup kasi ang dami na ring households na nag-converge, di ba? So they all have broadband in Converge, kaya malakas yung numbers and earnings niyan. So it's gonna be a value play. I think Converge at about 27 or 28, may buyers din yan. So that said, will it go to 40? Baka hindi, di ba? Kasi malaki na rin talaga inangat niyan versus, I mean, if you look at the valuation of Converge versus Globe and PLDT, sobrang premium si Converge. So among the telecoms, I think the drop was just valuation. It was not related to the secular trend that Filipinos definitely need a telecom provider, whether that be Converge, whether that be Globe or PLDT. So those are mainstays. It's one reason why I think Meralco is staying here at about 298, lofty dyan. A lot of people have also been asking me about the IPOs. In terms of the IPOs, I did take a look at the SPNEC IPO, and people are saying, will it be as good as the movement of AC Energy? They remember that we love AC Energy, or it was still during that time, the name of AC Energy or ASEN was, ano ba name na to before? Before ASEN? Naging ASPH yan, tsaka iba name yan before eh. Um, I I'm such a I forget things so much, no. But I remember we bought this at 2 pesos. Yeah. So, okay, the thing about AC Energy, marami na rin talaga siyang production na joint venture. And so those are already producing energy, not something na magko-construct pa lang. What I would find difficult kasi with SPNEC, to give you an understanding, 70% of it is debt. Then 30% is fueled by the IPO proceeds, 75-25. So majority of the funding has all just been IPO and debt. So ang problem ko dyan reminds me with Dito Telecom. I'm not giving any bad reco, but it's just that when the company is not funding itself, no matter how good the optimism on telecom projects are, notice that Dito Telecom became a pump and then dump. No, it's not a pump and dump stock. No, it's just that you have a lot of debts, and the people who have debt gets to convert their shares through Dito Telecom. So nagkakaroon ka ng hangover. So I think like SPNEC, my only question is the dilution efforts in the future. Kasi you're gonna be building a lot and not a lot of revenues for the first 3 to 5 years. Puro construct. So I think that it's a difficult thing, despite the fact that obviously solar is a good trend in the future. That's just my like first opinion on it. Now with Medilines, the only reason with that IPO, it's good, diba? They're spending a lot on the capex, and the thing about it is that they have a ton of receivables with the government naman. Ang government kasi guys, yung I'll talk na lang here, no? For the 2 IPOs, SPNEC and Medilines, I'm more or less stay away muna ako. It doesn't mean that I'm really bearish, but you'll notice kasi IPOs are sentiment driven. When you look at the IPOs nila, ang dami nilang mga receivables. So why is there a receivable? Obviously, SPNEC and Medilines have to invest a lot. We're talking about billions of equipment for Medilines. They invested in cancer, yung mga diagnosis, mga dialysis machines. So they invested, the IPO proceeds are in capex. And you're gonna need a lot of return on investment muna doon before it's cash flow positive. So it's a little bit speculative, but it's in the right sector. Kasi we need to invest naman talaga in healthcare. So owning an investment there is, in my view, gonna take volatile. Lahat ng healthcare, in my view, is volatile. Not just in the Philippines, but also abroad. Medical equipments, all those things. So medyo volatile in my view. Now for SPNEC, my biggest reason why I'm avoiding it is, I think it's really about the debt, the funding proceeds. I think it's very difficult to get a secure, stable income when you're still building it out. Ang tagal. They don't have yung FTT, mga contracts, di ba? Like you have to have a feed-in tariff rates for your electricity that you're gonna produce with solar. So yun, I just think that I might wait it out. Give me about 1 to 2 years, siguro. That's when I'll just give it time. Hindi ko alam what to say about it, no. Let me see questions. I sold a lot today for liquidity. Is it good to buy telecoms now, especially Globe? Yes, the first thing I talked, yeah, thank you. Yeah, FEN nga pala, FEN tapos ASEN, correct. Yeah. So I do like Globe kasi at the same time, if you recall, sinabi ko rin to sell Globe at 3536. Why? It's because I felt na GCash is not gonna be an IPO in the near term. Why? Kasi noong November, nakasecure na si GCash ng funding sa private equity, which was Warburg Pincus. And Warburg Pincus is the same company that also invested in Converge. So private equity is interested in the Philippines. But they go to private equity bago mag-IPO. So I guess it will take another 2 to 3 years before the GCash IPO, no? So yung viewpoint ko sa premium sa Globe, masyado talagang malayo versus sa Globe per se na telecom. So I think like, notice mo naman, di ba, from about 2,000, nag 3,005, 70% increase siya. I think the 70% increase is grabe for just GCash na hindi naman mag-IPO. So where would be the actual valuation for Globe? I don't know, maybe a 50% premium is enough. So anything above 3,000, medyo apprehensive pa ako to enter. But maybe anything below 3,000, let's say 2,900, 2,800, 2,700, because telecom nga is a stable company, in my view, may cash flow naman yan. I see it more like a utility. So fair dapat lagi. I won't expect to make a ton of money. Actually, the people I have pitched Globe and Telecoms, hindi namin talaga in-expect magsi 60-70% yung mga Globe and PLDT positions eh. So, of course, we're just keeping it. But when it was going up talaga, we're also advising ko, gusto mong mag-sell ng konting Globe kasi parang mataas na. But at the same time, babuyback mo rin Globe. Kasi wala rin naman kaming mapaparkan eh. Kung Philippines na you just make 5-6% a year, you still would choose telecoms. I think that is still the fair play for many investors. So, hindi wrong talaga to invest in a Globe. Any thoughts on LTG? Actually, yung people were also asking keeper holdings, no? Kasi liquor eh. They saw that Lucio Tan Group is very heavily tied with, kasi Lucio Tan Group, most of the stocks inside of Lucio Tan is marami kang, actually wala naman airlines dyan. So you have nothing to do with the Philippine airline problems. But may problem ka in terms of the tobaccos, Philip Morris yan. A large majority is still, yes, may konting Tanduay, but it's very small. I think Lucio Tan Group is heavily invested in just Philip Morris Tobacco. And if you saw the Philip Morris abroad, which is Altria, Big Tobacco kasi is really getting a lot of negative press. So they're not really, yun nga, for all time naman, cancer, di ba? Smoking leads to cancer. So I think like over the next few years, hindi siya secular bet. I don't know baka hindi lang kasi ako smoker. I don't like to invest in something kasi in smoking related industries. That's the only reason why I would avoid it. If I like Lucio Tan business, only siguro the business of banking, which is, I think naman business of bank, you have, yun nga, I said, mas trip ko kasi yung bank na digitally fast forward. So I go for Union Bank. I know that BDO, they're trying to do it, BDO Pay, ginagaya nila si GCash. So if you believe in that, maybe BDO and Union Bank. Hindi ko pa talaga naririnig yung talagang digital efforts ng Lucio Tan Group or PNB. The only thing I know about them is, yeah, they plan to really sell their property assets as a dividend. I don't know what happened with that. So parang yun lang. Thoughts on Cebu Pacific? Cebu Pacific, I've always been contrarian when it's 40 pesos eh. Whenever it's 40, I would say, bilhin mo na, 39, 38, 40, 41. Actually, today, 42. If you bought, okay lang. But you have a lot of difficulty kasi contrarian buying yon. Because we don't know talaga how long this pandemic, variants and all that, no? I thought nga, makaka-travel na ulit. Baka hindi na naman. So, or baka mas-stuck ka kasi. Example, nag-travel ka ng Europe, stuck ka na doon. E paano kung, di ba, hindi naman lahat ng tao kaya mas-stuck for 3 months or 1 week or 3 weeks dyan, di ba? So, paano kung mas-stuck ka sa, kasi nga, may travel bubble na naman eh. So, ang hirap din mag-travel, guys. Kahit nga local, hindi mo na alam eh. So, yun. Pero I think if you're investing kasi, you want to invest in bad times, not in good times. And with Omicron variant now in the headlines, you get the Ayala Lada 33. You get the, if you really like Cebu Pacific, you get it while it's 40 pesos, diba? That's when you buy it, when it's everyone against the airlines. So, how about All HC? I was never a buyer of All HC, even if akyat siya ng akyat, no? Maybe I just don't understand all these leasing thing. Parang kasi the way I see it, yeah, I see the future is all leasing and all of these warehousing because of e-commerce. Pero guys, hindi ko nakikita yung point of paying such a premium on it. So hindi ko talaga nakikita kasi, kunwari, ako si Shopee or ako si Lazada, Yes, there is this all-HC that is a warehouse. What's the difference if I enter SM Prime? Pwede naman mag-warehouse na rin yung SM Prime malls. So I don't understand the premium valuation of all-HC versus the other property peers. Maybe I'm stupid. Di ko lang talaga nakikita to pay a premium on it. Kasi SM malls, which is SM Prime, if I could invest in SM Prime at 33 pesos, I would rather go for SM Prime at 33 or 32, di ba? Kasi baka bumagsak tong SM Prime. So I'll be more contrarian. You can buy the malls, SM Prime, even when everyone doesn't like it. Kasi obviously, wala namang difference kung i-warehouse ko yung retail ko sa SM Prime kung presyo lang the same versus sa isang warehouse ning Ayala. So Ayala and SM, I think same dapat. Walang premium dyan. Kung 33, 33 parehas. That's the way I see it lang. There's a question. Should I be worried on Nicolasia, Petron? Okay, commodities kasi is still a physical good. Hindi mo siya kayang palitan. Diba? And I would argue, nagkaroon ka ng noise. The first noise was, will people travel again? Kasi if people travel again, may mobility, there's demand for oil. That's why oil went from 80 to 60 to 75. I don't think we will go to $100 oil. People are afraid of that. But at the same time, we will not go to a negative oil world. So actually, I think oil is just gonna stay at $70. It stayed at 70. No, let me show you the chart of oil. There was a temporary drop of oil prices in the world. Tingnan natin yung oil. Brent oil. Crude oil. Ayan, $70, $60. Bumalik ng 68. So you'll notice naging trading range si oil. Binagsakan yung 77 yung crude oil on Omicron. Tapos sa 68 binili. So I think what's gonna happen, guys, is nakita nyo ba? Share screen ko pala. Sorry, hindi ko pala na-share. Na-share ko naman, no? Ito. Can you see the oil chart? Can you share the oil chart? Yeah, if you look at the chart of oil, it's a trading range. And then for nickel, hindi ka rin dapat matakot kasi trading range yung nickel futures eh. The spot nickel prices, it's actually $20,000. So my viewpoint on commodities, guys, is if the physical nickel is 20,000, any drop of nickel Asia, 5, 4, 4.5, it's a buying opportunity. That's the reason why last year, nickel Asia was 2 pesos. We were saying, bili yan, 1.8, 2 peso. Kasi hindi na tayo makahanap ng nickel. And we know Tesla needs it. We know all the electric vehicles needs that for their batteries. Nickel and lithium has been going up, So, actually, pag nagpapagawa ka ng mga bahay ngayon, kailangan mo pa rin ng copper, kailangan mo pa rin ng steel. So, commodities is in a secular trend boom, guys. So, actually, si Petron, ang kailangan lang niya gawin, mag-store up siya ng oil inventory. Hindi man niya mabenta yan, mabebenta niya kasi yan sa market, sa world price man lang. So, I think magkakaroon ka ng mark-to-market gain as long as hindi siya mag-hedge. Huwag magbenta ng pababa sila ExxonMobil, sila Chevron, sila Petron. You'll see it, guys. Tingnan mo yung ExxonMobil sa abroad. Kasi pag Petron, titingnan mo rin yung ExxonMobil, tsaka Chevron, tsaka yung mga Royal Dutch Shell. Makita mo 30, nag-64, nagko-correct sa 60 or 59, pero hindi siya babalik ng low price. So may laggard effect in my view yung Petron. Petron in the Philippines is a laggard versus ExxonMobil in the US. So ganun ako mag-isip eh. Like, yun yung viewpoint ko. Of course, pwede ako maging mali, but I think walang problema sa commodities. Talagang nagkakaubusan, may shortage. Would you believe na walang problema ang cash flow dividends ng ExxonMobil and Chevron? Now, si Ramon Ang, nagsabi na siya sa Petron. Sabi niya, they didn't make money. They lost 10 billion pesos last year. So ang goal ko lang is, sabihin niya this year, we lost 3 billion or 5 billion. I don't expect them to make money, but I expect them to lose less this year. So I already answered for Converge. I think for Converge talaga, it's a buy on dips. Kasi nga, I am of the belief that we are in a secular trend for telecommunications. Kailangan natin ng 5G, kailangan natin ng broadband. So, yun lang yung secular trend thesis ko dyan. maging drop is a buy on Converge. GD Capital kasi heavily reliant on the bank and heavily reliant on car sales, no? So hindi ako sigurado sa GT Cap. What about Ayala Corporation? Ako, I'd rather go for Ayala Land kasi Ayala Corp owns a lot. It owns BPI, it owns Ayala Land, it owns Globe. You go for Globe, kung gusto mo Globe, you go for Ayala Land, and you can buy it at prices that are cheap. So, some people kasi they don't want to buy the physical, the specific Globe or the specific alley. But kasi for me, if you buy alley 33 to 30, that's still a good bet. Hindi mo naman alam kung kailan magre-recover. Pero ako, I have a view na the Ayala land is gonna recover. Why? Because the land prices did not decline. It's true, walang income, walang yield. Can you imagine, meron ba talagang magbabayad ng super taas na rentals? None, di ba? So walang brisk sales yung mga Ayala properties. But in terms of cash flow, they do have the capacity to still develop. So cheap funding kasi ang Ayala Corporation. Among the Philippine companies that got cheap funding in the Philippines, it was JG Summit, Ayala Corporation, PLDT, Jollibee. So actually, I am quite bullish if Jollibee goes down at 190. I mean, we have been bullish on Ayala and Jollibee since the pandemic, no? And nangyayari lang is nagba-buy and sell. Kasi ang hirap to see na, syempre nung 7,000 plus na yung index, mapapaisip ka na parang 890, 900 Ayala Corp, benta yun, di ba? If Ayala Corp tanks, sabihin natin Ayala Corp goes down na naman sa 750 or 700, oo, bibilin mo. Kasi like last year, magkano lang ba yan? 350, 500 pesos, di ba? So, value play naman talaga ang Ayala Corp. Pero at 800, it's not a value play. You go down ng mga 750 below, I might think about it. Kasi if I'm gonna buy Ayala Corp, bakit pa? Ayala Land na lang sa 33. Parang it's cheaper to buy Ayala Land. So yun, yeah, that's all that I could say for now. Mahirap guys yung actual economy ng Pilipinas. That's why you cannot be very bullish. But at the same time, you cannot be very bearish. To give you a target, no, if SM Prime falls ng 30 pesos or 33, there 33 na sa SM Prime, I think you want to get into those index names kahit na property siya. It's not because you know that properties will recover, it's just that they have the best balance sheet pa rin. So investing in the SMs and the Ayalas, it's more on a balance sheet cash flow rational na alam mo everyone's having a tough time, BDO will have a good buyer pag 110. Actually, people were buying BDO at 100, 120 ngayon, may buyer yan. Actually, if it falls 100, people will buy BDO eh. So BDO Union Bank as my top banks, I think. And then I'll get SM Prime for property and SM Prime Ayala Land. If you're bullish on Mega World, pwede basta below 3. Baka mabili mo 2.7, bilhin mo. Basta marami kasi ang land territories eh. Hindi mo iisipin yung cash flow, although maganda rin naman, may cash flow naman yung mga yan eh. Yeah, and then, if Pure Gold tax, ngayon 40 siya, actually, pwede na nga si Pure Gold bilhin eh. Pag bumaba pa si Pure Gold, why? Utility play lang. Kasi food security yung mga supermarkets, always resilient yan. I'm bullish on commodities. I know that the market has no nickel source kasi. So, it's not really about next year. Actually, as long as you look at the commodities per se, pag bumababa yung nickel Asia in the Philippines, tingnan mo lang yung actual nickel price. Tingnan mo yung actual nickel price. From 15,000 sa 20,000. So, you know that nickel has so much cash, no? Hindi ka matatakot sa position mo dyan. You know that nickel futures in the future, wala kang mapuntahan eh. Nickel for this year went from 15 to 20K. So, nagpa-profit taking lang yan sa Nickel Asia. 5 peso, 5.5. I don't know if it's gonna go 8 or 9. Mag-aangat ba na yun? It's all dependent on nickel, diba? Now, if you're wondering who's the actual buyer of nickel, lahat ng batteries, whether it's XPeng, whether it's Li Auto, whether it's NIO, whether it's Tesla, whether it's General Motors, whether it's Ford, Lahat ng kotse guys, maniwala kayo sa akin, nagkakaubusan ng lithium and nickel and copper. Sa buong mundo yon. So, kahit na Pilipino ka, sino ka ba? You might ask, sino ba si Nickel Asia? Wala. I'm just a Philippine company. But then again, I've got nickel and you need nickel, right? If you ask me, saan sino-source yung lithium? Sa Chile. Yes, meron sa Texas. Pero bakit sila pupuntan Chile? Because Chile has a lot of lithium. Oh, so at the end of the day, ang resource ng Pilipinas may nickel ka eh. Oh, kung nickel sa buong mundo, naglalakaran ng 20,000, willing ka ba na magbenta ng 19 or 18K? So I think like you just have to think about the actual world prices. So may secular reason kasi eh. For me, ganun lang talaga. Now, ang solar power guys is based on production. Kung sino yung cheapest rate, doon ka. Sa Philippines, you have to be very efficient. May scale involved pag solar. Scalable na yung solar farms ng India. Magaling na yung India doon. Magaling din actually Vietnam. Pansinin mo, yung Philippines, inuna ni ASEAN, Vietnam and India. Kasi mas well-developed yung mga solar farms doon. Doon sila nag-umpisa bago sa Philippines. At saka I think it has to do with climate din. Sa Abu Dhabi, parang nakaka-produce sila ng 1 to 2 centavos na solar. So pwede ka actually in the future, i-import mo yung electricity made from India, yung solar, or made from Abu Dhabi, kasi di ba puro desyerto dyan. Sa sobrang init doon, is-store nila yon sa mga batteries. So nag-i-invest din actually yung world sa battery storage. Pag sinabing battery storage, ginagamit niya ng electric vehicle tsaka ng lahat ng bahay. So I think you invest in battery storages. All the battery storages I know is in the US. Hindi talaga siya invested in the Philippines. Now, hindi ko alam yung ROI ng production rate natin sa Pilipinas ng solar. Mas alam ko pa, mas gamay ko pa actually yung mga solar farms abroad like sa Jinko Solar, which is sa China. Ang daming competition guys pag solars. So, parang ano yan, para ka nagpro-produce ng gulay, kung makaka-import ka ng onions abroad, kaya di ba nagre-reklamo yung mga Filipino farmers here? Kasi mas cheaper pa, import mo na lang abroad, dalhin mo sa Pilipinas, benta mo sa tao. Kasi at the end of the day, kung saan ka makaka-produce ng commodity at the cheapest price, that wins. So yun lang yung avoid ko, kaya ako natatakot. Kasi hindi ko pa alam, ano ba production rate ng solars na yan? Kasi kung competitive, good. Pag hindi competitive, hindi ko sure. Okay? So that's my viewpoint lang. No, I'm not against investing in solar. By the way, I am such a huge solar fan. Been investing in abroad, no? Sa mga solars, Sunrun, SunPower, lahat ng solar panels, Canadian Solar, lahat ng renewable energies, pati nga uranium, pinapatos natin eh. Minsan natatalo, pero I think kasi uranium is really the way then, nuclear energy. So yun. So I think if you're invested in Nickel Asia, you are of course a beneficiary of this entire electrification world. Lahat ng batteries and electric vehicles, kailangan niya nickel. That's where the demand comes from. Pati silver, kailangan niya. Lahat ng solar panel, kailangan ng silver. So actually, bullish ako sa lahat ng commodities eh. Kasi may use case. Basta may use case, important sa akin yun. That's where I think the real demand comes from. Hindi speculation. Nagkakaubusan talaga ng certain minerals and resources. Okay, that's it guys. Last question. I'll answer this last question. If it's possible that DMC is announcing that Berong mines will be closed, will Semirara's income go down considerably? Oo. Of course, when you close down a mine, it can shut down a revenue source. Kahit anong business yan, babagsak. That's why for DMC, hintayin mo ng 6 pesos below. I'm not sure if bababa. But lower production equals lower coal plants to produce those power. I guess from a common sense view lang, sinarado mo yung production unit mo, hindi ka dapat, kaya actually guys, I'll go for Aboitises. Pardon if masyado akong bullish sa Aboitis, but I think it's the safest haven. Aboitis ka, kasi Aboitis Power, nag-grow siya ng mga coal plants, hindi lang yun, di ba nag-open pa siya ng mga renewables niya, and they're deploying more and more. Kasi sila profit yan. Income profitable si Aboitiz. Take a look. Lahat ng conglomerates mahina. Check mo. Aboitiz Power, malakas. Aboitiz Equity Ventures, malakas. Union Bank, sobrang lakas. The chart was actually just an afterthought eh. Pag tinignan mo yung funda niya, alam mo tama ka. So hindi ka matatakot. Nickel Asia bumababa. Ba't ka matatakot? Eh alam mo fundamentals ng nickel pataas nga eh. Actually baka mag-special dividends nga next year ang Nickel Asia kapag nag-income na naman. Hindi ako actually nagsasabi na mag-income dividend siya. Hindi man ako Nickel Asia na presidente to say that, no. Pero if you check the business has cash flow, kulang na lang is mag-dividend siya next year para lalong umangat. So I think if you are a profitable entity, dividends ka ng dividends. Si Semirara ata nag-dividend. Kaya it means na yun yung consuelo de bobo, di ba? But kasi nga, look at the cash flows all the time. Maiba lang. Last thoughts on Bitcoin. Bitcoin always has a buyer, no? It's just that it's hard to buy. If wala ka pang Bitcoin, don't buy at 57K. It's not saying na hindi siya akit ng 60,000 or 65. But I think that you have enough time to weather all the downturns. Alam mo naman, volatile eh. So, kung makabili ka ng 50,000, 52, basta always buy it on a crash. Not on when everyone's talking about it. I'd say that the majority has already made a ton of money in crypto. Pwede siya mag-crash, which is normal. May pullbacks, may corrections. Kung may cash ka, tabi mo, mag-staking ka. This is my advice to most people. Mag-staking kayo, magba-Binance dollars kayo, stake kayo sa mga yield farms. You earn enough tokens, yun, isell mo na naman to Binance dollars, you'll earn 12% a year. Tapos, kung mababa yung Bitcoin, if gusto mo bumili, 50,000, bili ka, 40,000, 60,000. Actually, more or less parang hindi ka bibili ng malaki. Talagang money that you will park there for $1,000, 50,000 pesos. Ikaw bahala. Actually, it depends on your money. Yun lang. So, nobody's in a rush anyway to sell. Hindi rin mali yung mga tao na nagsisell. Hindi rin mali yung mga tao na nag-hold. Now, yung mga buyers, I think, as long as tikim-tikim ka lang, hindi ka masyado masasaktan. Naglagay ka kunwari ng 50,000, nasaktan ka, na bumaba, ay hindi mo karapatan maglagay ng 50k pesos dyan. Yun, sige, that's all. Thank you, that's it. Bye-bye.